Hey, what's up, everybody? Super excited about this stream tonight. For those of you that don't know what it is that we're going to be having a discussion on, I actually have a guest who just had him on my IG Live last night. We were able to talk to our community about the mass hiring that his company is doing right now for tech sales roles as well as pre-sales roles in general. So realistically, we could probably just say pre-sales roles in tech because pre-sales roles involves tech sales roles, that being potentially SDR, BDR, but even better than that, account manager or account executive roles, as well as solutions engineering roles or solutions consultant roles, which is the same thing, just different names for it. Now, his company's doing a mass hiring within the next year or so, between now and the next year or so, where they're going to be hiring roughly about 3,400 people. But even right now, some of the people that came on IG Live last night, some of those people have already gotten scheduled for interviews since they've been applying to his company. So this is really, really major news, nothing small at all. And also, I was wrong yesterday. He updated me. I had shared that the amount of money that the company was paying on average for each of the roles was $90,000, but actually the average is going to be $107,000. So really that real six-figure mark already out the gate for so many of you are going to be able to get a job at this company. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on here. I see a few people asking questions about the name of his company. The company is Kaseya. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat right now. And I'm just going to ask that if any of you see other people asking about the name of the company, if you all can just put the company name in the chat, so that way others can see it. You can help answer that question for people. So we're really gonna just do Q&A, just Q&A the entire time. We have about 60 pre-submitted questions, so please tune in, y'all. Please make sure you watch and pay attention, because I promise you, your questions are going to be answered. Whether or not we see your question, somebody has probably asked the very question that you want to answer to, and there are other questions here that you're going to want to hear the answer to as well. So y'all, this is incredibly huge opportunity. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not overstating this. Y'all know I don't cap. I don't exaggerate. I keep everything honest, and I'm very excited about this opportunity that's here. I've even had an opportunity to speak with the VP, I believe the VP of sales at the company, that's confirmed everything that my guest is saying. So somebody basically as high up you can go, aside from the actual CEO. So y'all, this is like really huge. This is a major thing. I'm super excited about this. I'm going to stop flapping my gums about it. We're going to go ahead and start to jump into it. As always, y'all know this will be shared on the Tech is the New Black page. Obviously, it's on Tech is the New Black right now on the YouTube channel, but we will repost this stream on the Tech is the New Black channel. Just saying that to be mindful if anybody gets really busy. But again, you want to make sure that if you're not able to watch this entire stream tonight, you want to make sure you watch this entire stream at least by this week, because people are already getting interviews from last night that were on the live. They're already getting interviews with this company, y'all. So this is huge. This is going to change a lot of people's lives. So the biggest opportunity I've heard of since being in tech. So I'm super excited to be a part of this. I'm grateful I'm grateful that Jack came to me and spoke to me about it. I'm very grateful that we're able to share this with my audience. So yeah, y'all. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on.
Jack, hey, what's going on?
Thank you for being on, bro.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, man. I know we went to a lot of nitty and gritty yesterday, man, but I wanted to take this time to really break down like some strategies, a little bit about what we're doing with the company, the opportunity that's there, and also answer some questions that can help people, even if it's not this jobs particularly, but that's going to give people some value to be able to possibly get other jobs as far as like interviewing, different strategies that they can do.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about it too, being able to give people these additional nuggets. I'm going to go ahead and pin that comment. All right, y'all, so moving forward, everybody's asking about the company. Just look, it's right there. I have it now pinned under my name where it says the company is Kaseya. That is the company. So yeah, bro. So y'all, we already went live last night. He gave a good explanation about what the company is, what the company does. I'm going to encourage you all. He's going to touch on a couple other pieces, but we really want to focus mainly tonight on what you can do to stand out when it comes to the company. The second thing that you can do, the second thing we're going to focus on is really the questions that you all submitted. Because we got a lot of questions and we want to try to get through. Really, I want to try to get through all of these if possible. So that way we can address everything for y'all. But any question that we see that pops up in here that we already addressed last night, like if somebody asked, what does the company do? One, I would either say watch the stream from last night, or two, which is on my Instagram, or two, just go to the company website. Because again, we want to focus on new information today and not spend a lot of time rehashing what we've already done yesterday. So that being said, Jack, thank you again, bro, for being on here. So first and foremost, if you can go ahead and share some of the things, some of the updates that you had mentioned to me today on Instagram that you think is of value to share with everybody.
All right, so definitely some updates that we got going on. I was on a call with the CEO. They were doing like their monthly quarterly meeting, and he was breaking down some statistics. I'm not going to go over too much of them, but just to keep things short, there's a lot of growth. There was a lot of people that were promoted. We had a huge quarter, generated over millions of dollars for the business, and it was really great. Like a lot of people were able to get into VP positions. People were getting into management positions. People were getting equity within the company, and it was a fast growth type of season. And one of the things he mentioned is the reason why we're having so much fast growth and we're hiring is because the space that we're in cybersecurity, IT management, and basically what we do is we provide those licenses so IT professional can go out there and provide IT services to major businesses. And just all the regulations that's going on, that's a need. So when we get a customer or a client, we're consulting them on, hey, this is the type of license you need to get to be able to offer the type of solutions to hospitals, doctors, small businesses, so that way they don't get hacked, or hey, that way their networking is on point. Or even better, a lot of jobs are remote. They need an IT professional that's working on that, or a IT department. And those people in the IT need to be able to have tools that they can be able to effectively use to be able to do their job. So we provide those licenses to those IT professionals. So that kind of sums up. But as far as like updates, so basically we're growing at a high rate. We're acquiring more companies to come up. So we're actually looking to fill within this quarter 620 positions, between 620 to 650 new positions, right? That can be anywhere between
That's
sales
a lot of
engineer.
roles.
I know. And
You said that's just within this quarter.
this quarter, remember, yeah, this quarter. And a quarter is broken down to like 3 months, right? So right now, I was talking to my managers. They're like, listen, we're gonna have to, like, where I'm at right now, I'm probably gonna have to be moving on the other side of the building because we're gonna be bringing in people every other week. So what that means is because there's more people going, that means more people are hitting their goals. We need to train more people. We need people managing those teams. You can get into leadership opportunity like pretty fast with
Yeah,
equity, with an opportunity to run your team, and just get that experience.
yeah,
You may not be able to get that type of experience at a Microsoft. You may have to be there for quite some time, but because we got fast growth and we're
yeah.
hiring so many people, and also the good thing about this job too, at least for the account manager side, is there's no cold calling. All the businesses, people are
Yes,
coming to us.
yes,
So yeah,
yeah,
that's another thing. Like you get a book of business. They train you on how to identify the pain points, and you're really just having conversations with these people. And once you're able to develop trust, they're gonna spend a lot of money with you because people buy, from people that they trust, but they spend money from people that they like too as well. So if you can combine trust and likability together, you can make a lot of money in this business.
yeah. So I want to rehash a few different things he said. So first off, many of you are familiar with SDR, BDR roles, which is like the most entry level tech sales roles that there are. Those are the roles that typically do a lot of the cold calling, cold email, and cold email, cold LinkedIn outreach. But SDR, BDR, they usually are the ones that set up the meetings and set up the initial relationships with clients and prospects. And then they generally pass those clients and prospects over to what he's addressing, which is the account managers or some companies called account executive role. So that's what he's meaning when he's saying that it's not going to be on you to do the cold calling and cold emailing. So not only would you be getting paid more, significantly more than what an SDR BDR is making, but also it won't be on you to do the cold calling and cold emailing, which I know is something that some people just are not huge fans of. So it's a huge opportunity with that. Also, I do want to one thing I do want to mention that he had shared yesterday because Jack is someone he did a tech sales bootcamp. He did Course Careers, one of the boot camps that y'all know that I've mentioned and I talk about a lot, that I have a discount code for. He, after getting his job at Kaseya, he then did the sales engineering course with Careers, which y'all know is the bootcamp that I did. I did their sales engineering course, and he did that really because of the different opportunities that are there at Kaseya. Really the two opportunities that we're mainly talking about right now, which is that tech sales or account manager role, as well as the solutions consultant role as well. So again, I know many of you have done those boot camps already. So this is like really opportunity meets preparation. This is a perfect thing for you all. One thing that he shared yesterday is that he does strongly encourage, for those of you that haven't done a boot camp yet, for you to have that, because again, even though this is a lot of mass hiring going on with a great company, Kaseya, nevertheless, there still is competition. So if you're coming in and you don't have any experience, you don't have whether it's a technical experience or technical degree or something that will make you look like a good fit for potentially a solutions consultant or solutions engineer, or you don't have a boot camp, whether for tech sales or for sales engineering, that could knock you down from not being one of the more viable candidates. One of the things he had mentioned yesterday as well, or another thing he mentioned, is that one of the issues that they ran into in the past with Kaseya is that, again, they're trying to get a lot of people on, but they realized many people didn't have any experience or any training in this. So now they are pivoting to try to get an audience of people that have, or candidates rather, that have more experience, that have more knowledge. And that was one of the reasons why he and I connected on literally on a yacht just last week, and even why the associate VP reached out to me as well about this opportunity, is because they realized that Tech is a New Black and myself have a pretty dope audience of people that have done boot camps, and many of you are qualified to go ahead and take advantage of this incredible opportunity. And so, but with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Super excited about this. Again, like he mentioned, they're hiring over 600 people just within this quarter alone, with a six-figure, roughly on average, $107,000 salary. I'll go ahead and stop there. Jack, bro, I'll let you go ahead and continue to wrap.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what we got going on. But I want to actually ask, like, what are some of the questions you guys have? Because, I definitely want to give you guys some information. I noticed a lot of people was hitting me up in the LinkedIn today. I just didn't have the time to reach out. But, whatever questions you guys got as far as like interviewing, preparation, how to set yourself up for success, the type of mentality you need to have, or even just my success story and what my process was, feel free to ask.
So first we're going to get to the questions that we didn't get to yesterday that people sent in. And then I definitely want to dedicate time, and let me know, I guess maybe when we get close to 10 or something. I was about to say 10 my time, but we're both in Miami right now. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
But
down the street.
literally we're both in Brickell, Miami right now. And so once we get around that time, I want to save time to focus on, okay, what to do to stand out in the interview. What does the process look like? All of those things. But first question, we're going to go ahead and get to this. And y'all, I'm looking over here at my phone from questions people sent in yesterday. So first question that we see here, and this is something you addressed, but we can answer for everybody here. Are they hiring for remote or is this on site?
On site.
Okay, on site. And y'all, I will tell y'all, Kaseya is not a brand new company. So it's new enough that, as he mentioned, and it's growing rapidly to where there are these opportunities. Honestly, this is really the perfect spot for people because the company is established enough that it has brand recognition in the market, in the tech market, but they're not so overly established to where getting equity in the company doesn't matter that much, and or having an opportunity, like you mentioned before, to move to management is not there. It's like it actually is there, with Kaseya. So it's like really at the perfect
Or
spot,
VP.
y'all. Yeah, to be able to get a VP position, y'all. So we're talking big bag. We're talking opportunity to scale. We're talking you being at a solid, established company in a dope area. It's literally out here in Brickell, Miami. I left Atlanta, Georgia to move out here because this is such a great area. So I'll definitely tell y'all that for $100,000+ salary, equity opportunity for scaling in the company, like this is a sweet opportunity that I definitely don't want y'all to miss out on if you're here or if you can come here. And he also mentioned that, and I'll let you kind of share this, that y'all have other locations, so it's not just Florida.
I have it pulled up right here. So we have locations in Miami, Orlando, Newark, Atlanta, Columbia, and Red Bank. We have some stuff global too, but the main places, I would say go on the website. Like if you're up north, they do have a few openings for like the up north people. That's kind of like in New York. But the main headquarters is in Miami. That's where a lot of the tech jobs are, tech sales, IT, and also Orlando. That's where they actually have their engineers that work on the actual products, that develop the products. I think I even seen some QA testing opportunities in there. I would suggest just going there, apply, put me down as a reference if you need, and then a recruiter is going to reach out to me. They're going to say, hey, listen, did you refer this person? I'll okay it, and then they'll set you up with the interview.
That's gonna be a good look. Also, bro, appreciate you for that, Jack. That's really huge. You kind of looking out for people in that way. So yeah, and I want to be clarified. He said Newark, like Newark, New Jersey, not New York, because I know some people hear New York.
Norwalk. Let me see here. They got yeah. So that's in the Connecticut.
Norwalk, Connecticut. Okay, I'm completely tripping. All right, so
I read it wrong.
Connecticut. Yeah. Okay, totally cool. All right, happy we clarified that. And y'all, what I'm gonna ask him to do, what we're gonna do after this live, is the links that he's mentioning, or we're gonna drop some links here in the chat, but also the links and information he's mentioning, I'm gonna share it in my story on Instagram as well, so that way y'all can like be able to see that, as well as the cities that the locations are at. So again, for clarity, if you don't want to come to Miami and let's say you live in Orlando already, or you live in that part of Connecticut that he named that I'm going to list in my story, or one of the other places, or you're nearby there, that might be better for you. So again, just trying to put people on this great opportunity. Even if you have to make a sacrifice to like move a little bit or live somewhere, y'all, this is well worth it. This is a 6-figure entry-level role, but depending on how you work it, how you play it, the equity, we're talking, this is like $1 million opportunity, y'all. For real. And so anyway, I'm gonna get back to the questions.
Okay.
So so someone asked if they have so there's no SDR, it's really just for the account manager, correct?
Actually, let me confirm that real quick. So I see account executives, I see account managers.
Okay, cool.
So there's actually no SDR at the moment, but it is account executive, account managers, and then
look,
senior.
y'all, don't worry about it. That's a good thing, because I always tell people SDR, you'll get promoted to an account executive. So this is an opportunity for you to start as an account executive, which is major. All right, next question.
Actually, to add to that real quick, they do have entry-level account managers and account executives. So if you actually, instead of having to do the SDR route when you're doing, getting promoted, you can actually do the same role, but you'll have like a lower base to kind of ramp up, and you can still get 2 promotions within the same year.
All right, good stuff. All right, so next set of questions. All right, so can you break down, as much as you know, can you break down the total comp? So I know there's a you break down just the total comp of just pay and benefits. Honestly, while we're at it, maybe pay and some of the benefits that are at your company.
I would say that just starting off entry, for what I know now, the good question is to definitely consult with the recruiter, because they have all that information. And also, I would say everything's negotiable depending on your experience. Each role has a specific budget. However, you do get a limited, not a limited PTO, but you still get a good amount of PTO. I think it's like 21 days or something like that. You do, health insurance is fully covered. You get life insurance. They do have a life insurance policy, I think up to 250K. They have pet insurance, like if your dog is out or something like that, you can, your pet's taken
What?
care of. I know it's
I ain't
it's
never heard
crazy.
of that.
I me either. I was like, who does it? Oh, okay. Well, hey, it's Miami. So,
Yeah.
what is it? Dental, vision, 100%. You don't have to pay out of pocket. I was sick out for about a week and a half. Had the flu. My manager, everybody was real cool. They said, hey man, just get back to work. But the funny thing is, I enjoyed work so much. I'm texting them on the teams like, yo, I'm trying to come back, and everything was covered. I didn't have to pay anything out of my pocket. As far as like total compensation, I would say that if you're coming in on the account manager role, you can expect to see anywhere between like now everything's uncapped. Base can be anywhere between 50 to 60 ish, depending on your experience and what role you're positioning yourself. Also, what is it? I think you have like a 50K variable. Don't quote me, but you're looking at 95 to OT, no, anything above 95K plus, right? And that's just with OT. Not to mention there's a 25K sign-on bonus. So once you start and you do your 2 years, you get a 25K sign-on bonus. And when you hit your quota, whatever quota is set, you're gonna get other promotions and other bonuses added onto your check, plus equity too as well. So
Man.
it's a yeah, but as far as like the base and the OTE with people that I'm seeing, like that's just one part of it. There's a lot of other ways making money too as well.
Yeah. I'm curious, and this is a random question. Usually I tell people that in tech companies, they don't have to dress like corporate or anything. Like, all the tech companies like I worked at, I
Uh
would dress like this. I
yeah,
probably wouldn't have my chain on. Sometimes I would wear my chain,
yeah.
whatever, but I usually would just kind of dress like this. So one question I do want to ask, is there a dress code with your company, or is that just you just like to come present it that way for yourself?
That's just me. I'm
Okay.
gonna tell you the benefits though, right?
Yeah,
So
go
I'm
ahead.
not gonna lie. When I first started, uh, my background is real estate and also photography, and I also know the science of dressing. I personally just love coming in a suit. I like to be taken serious. I love the network. You never know who you're gonna meet. You're in Brickell, and the benefits. I'm not saying that you got to. I'm a little bit of an extremist, so you don't have to come up in a suit. They call me Mr. Men in Black here. Everybody, whatever. It's hilarious. However, though, um, like for me personally, I was able to build a brand. So anytime somebody, my managers, they recognize me. I had an opportunity to go out and eat with them. I've eaten lunch with some of the VPs of the company. I show up early. I show up 2 hours early to work. And that was the reputation I wanted to build for myself. Somebody that's serious, somebody that's here to grind, and somebody that's really to make deals. So once I did that, I created that reputation. So when I, meet people, everybody goofs around and stuff, but when it's time to get things done, people are looking at me. It's just a good reputation
Yeah.
that you want to build for yourself. Like I said, you ain't got to come in a suit. I'm an extremist. I'm still from Atlanta, so everybody's like, yo, it's like 90 degrees here. I'm like, I don't care. That's just something I like to do. But
Yeah.
make yourself stand out. Whether it's your personality, leverage that. People when you leave, people talk. So make sure you give them something to talk about.
Yeah, that's a real thing. I love that a lot. I see again. I'm focusing on pre-submitted questions, but one question I saw in here that I should have said earlier when I was talking. Somebody asked about Course Careers Bootcamp. So yeah, Course Careers is self-paced. Most people finish Course Careers between 3 weeks or like 2 months. But I know people that have finished it in 7 days, which they were really grinding to finish it in 7 days. And I know some people that have taken like 5 months and they were clearly just like really taking their time with it. So yeah, it's completely self-paced boot camp with my discount code. And you just hit the link in my bio. I'll drop my link in here at some point. But just hit my link. Discount code gives you $50 off, so it'll only be $449. Careerists for their sales engineering program is 7 to 10 weeks, depending on if you want to do their internship. In this case, if you're just going to start doing careers to be a solutions consultant or solutions engineer, I wouldn't encourage you to do their internship. Or really, I would say do it, but just apply to Kaseya while you're doing the internship. And if you get to start at Kaseya, then of course just stop the internship, because at that point you'll have a job. So yeah, but I have discounts to both in my bio. If you want a discount, if you don't want a discount, you're like, you just got money, you good, go ahead and just pay it, whatever. But that'll help y'all out a lot. All right. Next question. All right. Oh, okay. Speaking of, okay, yeah. Uh, how long is the hiring process?
So for everybody's a little bit different. I would say they do have a four-part hiring process where you may need to interview 4 times. It only took me twice. personally, and I give you guys some tips on how I was able to do it that I think that helped. But what I did is, anytime you're interviewing for a company, I realize make sure you like, and you're genuine too. Do research on the person that's hiring you. So they'll give you a list, LinkedIn or whatever, and they say, hey, these are going to be the people that's hiring you. Look at their LinkedIn, see if you have something in common. When I interviewed, I realized the first person I had something in common with was my manager, and as soon as we got in there, we started talking. It was a great vibe. Next thing you know, he connected me with the VP. Before we even got into what my qualifications is, I say, hey, before we talk about this, what do you like best, Canon or Nikon? Because I see they used to do photography, and I have a background in that. For the first 15 minutes, we were talking about
Ooh,
cameras,
that's how
you
you
know.
get them. You,
So
you
I
you
was just,
you make that connective tissue with something that they care
yeah.
about personally.
But that's actually the whole point of the job. That's exactly what we do with these IT guys. Like they come on here, they encourage that. Like, listen, don't talk about business. Focus on building a relationship. Just have a conversation. Be genuine. Get to know them. Get to know their business. And one of the things I would say, if you have like, I know you have an audience of ladies in there too. Ladies, like, listen, you got to understand like who you're talking to. These are IT guys that don't get out the house. They got, a personality, are very introverted. So when they come on and they see, and we do a lot of Zooms, right? So we're talking face to face. When they see somebody that's like, hey, they're nice, that, you're talking to them and they're like, listen, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to make sure you grow your business. Man, like there's certain girls on here that I'm making killing just off having conversations with guys and people in the IT space. And you don't realize your power. So, man,
Yeah.
if y'all can get into this, y'all listen.
Hey, look,
Whew,
I'm gonna say something that might not be politically correct, but
yeah,
this is not a representation of his company. I want to say that. I want to be very clear.
yeah,
Anything, let me say that just in general. Anything that I share is not a representation of his company, does not like, so I want to be very clear about that. Because y'all know how social media is and stuff. But we,
yeah,
we have a great audience here. People in the community, ain't nobody like trying to do nothing crazy. That being
yeah,
said, again, speaking from Cyrus, kind of doubling down on that point, ladies. One of the guests that we had on Tech as a New Black, her name is I was about to say Shanae. I saw Shanae pop up. One of the guests we had on Tech as a New Black is Kayla Burks. She's very
oh yeah,
popular in tech sales. She's a senior level account executive for enterprise companies. She's doing a little over $300,000 this year. She was speaking. She's a very lovely, very attractive Black woman. She's like number one or number two at for her role at Microsoft in tech sales. And one of the things that she mentioned is how she uses her womanhood. She embraces her femininity, her attractiveness, all of those things. And so, again, that's not PC. We ain't supposed to say stuff like that. But like ladies, y'all are lovely. Y'all are beautiful. Y'all have that component. And just like he mentioned, a lot of these IT guys, they don't have a lot of opportunities to really see a lot of just beautiful women. So ladies, don't feel like you can't be beautiful or be lovely or be feminine or be sweet. Like, really lean into whatever your gifts are. Really for everybody, lean into whatever your gifts are, whatever your strengths are, whatever your personality is. First and foremost within this industry, but also definitely when it comes to these roles. So somebody said my wife almost killed me for looking at Kayla's YouTube. That's hilarious. Kayla's gorgeous.
yeah,
I saw her a couple days ago in Atlanta. We had a party for all of our previous podcast guests in Atlanta. So yeah, she's lovely and cool people. She actually left the party early. It was Sunday night. She left the party early to go home to get ready for work for the week because she had to get some stuff set up with accounts. So, but she's killing it. That's why she's number one, because she put in them extra hours and that extra work to be number one. So, all right. So, next question that's on here. Okay, cool. So, all right, someone asked, they said, hey, do you recommend going from course careers and applying? Because I know I can do this. So basically, she did course careers and she's like, yo, do you think I'm a good fit to go ahead and apply for Kaseya?
yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, my perspective on the boot camps, which is, yeah, they give you a foundation, but at the same time, you still got to have the confidence to go out
Yeah,
there and execute. And that's, in my opinion, what the boot camps are supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to relay your value based off, what you learned and share your, value. But you got to have the confidence to be able to do that.
that's
And if you
good.
don't feel like you have the confidence, you're gonna go in there and bomb the interview. I would
Yeah,
say though, to be transparent, if you want to do that, the boot camps are cool, but at the end of the day, you're applying for account manager role. So what they're looking for is they're looking for people who got personality. You know, maybe if you're a little bit more introverted and you're more on the tech side, the account manager role, customer facing may not be the best for you. But if you're personal, you enjoy having conversations, you like to talk, and you don't mind socializing, you got a good personality, sell that. And that's going to stand out a little bit more. The boot camp is cool. It shows you that, hey, listen, I know how to type some stuff in and whatever. But what they're really looking for is a good personality, somebody that can hold a conversation, because we're doing 3-year contracts. So these are this is
Yeah.
relationship selling. So the relationship that you build with these contracts that these guys are doing, they're gonna need to be able to trust you to spend money. So just be able to sell your personality and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's good. And I love him. You highlighted that difference, because those that don't know, solutions consultants or sales consultants, sales engineers, all the same thing, different names. Uh, they are more on the technical side, where they're usually doing technical demos. I don't know how technical Kaseya's product gets. I mean, they are a cybersecurity SaaS company, so it probably could get a bit technical. Of course, they train you on their software. Nevertheless, if you are a person where you're more of like a personality person, like I would say, even like myself, even though I'm a sales engineer, I lean way more on my personality. I've only been a sales engineer for companies where it wasn't very technical at all. Nevertheless, if you are a person where you really like showing your personality, you like engaging, like building relationships, then the account executive or account manager, that might be a better fit for you. But if you're someone where you don't want to lean as much on your personality, but you are interested in being able to do a presentation or a demonstration of a company's technology, and maybe answer some technical questions, again, that you'll be trained on, then the solutions consultant or sales engineering role might be a better fit for you. So next question in here. All right. All right, I'm seeing a few of the same questions. All right, so for those that are listening, there are going to be people that are going to rewatch this, and you're not going to be able to see the chat. One of the questions someone asked is, "What is the correct spelling of the company?" So I would say it, but I want to be very clear, so I'll let you answer it, Jack. So, what is the correct spelling of Kaseya?
Kaseya. Kaseya.
Oh, Kaseya. So I'm saying it wrong. Kaseya. I just been butchering it.
No, it's spelled that way, but you can say Kaseya.
Okay, so you said Kaseya.
Correct.
All right, bet. All right, good stuff. All right, next set of questions. All right, it sounds like a simple question, but I'll still ask it. They ask, "Where do I apply?"
All right. So what you do? Actually, I just dropped the link in the private chat, and it's going to be the job board link. So just go on there, and you can just go ahead and click on a link, and it'll just open directly to the job board. You don't even have to look at different places. It's going to just open it all up.
All right.
I do want to break down, if it's okay, like real quick, the specifics in the role, because I remember you mentioned that there's certain companies that when you're a sales engineer, you do a little bit of everything. One thing that I love about Kaseya is it's very structured, right? So if you're account manager, right, you're not technical. You're gonna learn IT and all that stuff, just whatever, but you're heavily relying on the solution. You're just selling the value of the meeting. So it's almost like you're in an SDR position, but you're dealing with warm leads, because you don't have to get technical, you don't have to know about whatever. All you focus on more is the relationship. And as soon as they ask them, hey, listen, that's a great question. We got a solution specialist. Let's get you on a call with a solution specialist. The solution specialists, they're not customer facing. They just focus on one solution. We got over 40 solutions, right? They focus on one solution and they just do demos all day on that one solution. And customers come in, and each time a person that I've seen comes on that solution, they're already buying because they really need the product. So if you want to be more, listen, I just want to be on the demo side. I don't want to be dealing with relationships. There's perks to both jobs, right?
Yeah.
I would say account manager for Kaseya is really fun, because we do conferences in Vegas. We have a system where, with a client that spends a lot of money, we can actually fly them all the way to Miami. You can go with them to the Kaseya Center and take them out, company card, get to hang out with the CEO. It's almost like the CEO of Microsoft hanging out with his customers. That's how our CEO does, right? So imagine being able to be in that environment, and you're bringing people from a different state, and you send them up at the Kaseya Center where they're having a Miami Heat game, courtside seats. company credit card and your face is right there next to the CEO with this company that's about to spend all this money on IT stuff, you can do that as an account management.
Yeah. Yeah, those are facts. I love that. Yeah, there's like you mentioned, there's definitely uh different pros for each role. I wouldn't even say pros and cons. I would just say
It's
like
just different. Yeah.
yeah, just different pros for each role. Because as a sales engineer, one of the things I did enjoy is not needing to stay attached to the customer or client consistently
100%.
for like 3 months or 2 months. I would just pop in, do my demo. Of course, it would be a lot of work for me to prepare for the demo. Definitely a lot of work for me to prepare for it. Nevertheless, I wouldn't have to be the quarterback of the relationship with the customer. So just kind of different strokes depending on who you are. All right, cool. So do they have an office in Atlanta? No, they don't.
They do
Correct.
have an office in Atlanta. It's in Dunwoody. They just don't have any open roles.
Oh, oh. All right. Good. Still good point though. Still a good point to mention. All right, good stuff. All right, let's go to the next set of questions. All right, y'all, I'm gonna try to breeze through these really quickly, so hopefully we can get to some of the other questions y'all have. All right. I'll ask some of these questions anyway, even though I feel like I know the answer, but I still want to bring them up to you.
Yeah.
Do you know if they're hiring for QA positions right now?
Go on the website and just check it out. Because
Yeah,
go on the website.
realistically, and a lot of the questions, and I say this like respectfully, y'all. Some of the questions that y'all are asking, you could just go to the website and
All
get the
right.
answer. And realistically, understand that if you're asking a question that you could just quickly check the answer to, like that could be indicative of like really you need to, I'm not going to say that could be indicative that like you're not a good fit for this role, but you need to move and think differently to be a good fit for this industry, because just the tech industry in general, there's not a lot of there's a lot of assistance, but there's not a lot of like overreaching or over hand holding where they're
Yeah.
babying you through stuff. So you have assistance when you ask people for help, you're going to get help, but if you're not asking for help, they're going to trust that you're going to look through the resources that they've given you already. And it makes you look better when you look through the resources already.
Yeah. One
Um,
of the things, I understand some people got some questions, but one of the things I did want to talk about, I did talk to my manager too, was a little bit what I was saying before about the equity. All right. So if you do get the equity, number one is earned. So you have to hit your quota in order to get it. But in 4 years, what the company does is they buy other companies and you have the opportunity to cash out on that equity. So if you guys do decide to get into leadership and you want to go more that equity route, be willing to invest 4 years. It's definitely going to be worth it, but expect to be able to sell that back to the company and cash out, right? So that's what we do in 4 years. I would say too, not just for Kaseya, but for your audience that are getting into tech sales, some of these really good interview questions that you want to ask that I realize I don't think a lot of people are asking. When they ask you, hey, so what else you want to, you have any other questions? Definitely, get the full total compensation package. Sometimes you can ask what exactly is the TCV, which is the total contract value, and what percentage you're getting off of that, because every company does something a little bit different. Not just with Kaseya, but say that you're going into tech sales, you want to know what percentage of the deal that you're getting. And then there's also annual recurring revenue deals, whereas like you may sign a 3-year contract and you're getting paid residuals off of that deal, which is something we get here as account managers because it's a relationship. So not just with Kaseya, but ask certain questions about the company so you know exactly how you're getting paid, if they offer equity, and just what other growth opportunities they're having. I wanted to talk a little bit, kind of like you said, because it's getting toward that 10 or close to 10, about just some of the opportunities I had before Kaseya and why I specifically picked Kaseya, if that's okay.
yeah, please go. Yeah.
All right. So specifically, as I mentioned before, I did the course careers boot camp, right? What I did is I also was very proactive. So I made a decision. It was very uncomfortable, but I said, look, I had an option of renewing my lease in Midtown Atlanta, but I looked at my budget and the money that I spent over the years, and I said, hey, listen, all this money I could have spent that on careers and put myself in a position. So let me make the sacrifice, right? So I came out to Florida, put myself in an uncomfortable situation, and basically, once I revamped my resume, I started getting a lot of offers, right? After I did careers, I figured out how to allow my experience, my past experience to in sales and relate it to the roles I was applying to. And recruiters started reaching out to me. Some of the base was anywhere between 80 to 95K base from solution specialist role to the account executive with an OTE of on target earnings of 135K. But when I actually looked at the companies that I was applying for, one of them was in, I think, the restaurant industry where they wanted me to go, market a solution to restaurants. That's cool, but I know if there's, God forbid, turn of the market, that could possibly, I might be out of a job, right? I did have an opportunity that I was going to move with GovTech. There's a really good company. It was fully remote. However, I was so committed to getting my foot in the door with Kaseya, taking the test so many times. I actually found out that I passed the test right when I was gonna move with that company, and I decided, you know what, Kaseya, I always wanted to sell cybersecurity and IT, and I saw that that's where in tech, where a lot of money is going to be and longevity too. Just because you're getting into tech doesn't mean it's sustainable, So make sure if you're applying for positions, if you can, get into something that has long-term growth that's sustainable, and that way you can make that money so you can be able to, have the life that you want. So that's why I also picked Kaseya, because I love the culture. I knew it was IT sales. I had a understanding how important IT was, and my background, I also had a passion of just talking with people and figuring out how I can help them with their business. So I figured that I can do that in the tech space, in the IT space. Same transferable skills, different product, but it pays more.
Yeah, I love this so much. I love this conversation because one of the things that I've gotten a lot of comments about, really, it's really been happening since the past year. Since the past year, people have, many of y'all have DM'd me, or you've been in my comments saying, "Oh, what about the layoffs, or no companies hiring, or blah 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 blah," things like that. And I've always shared with y'all, listen, y'all, there are always, for every tech company that's not hiring, there's 100 others that are still hiring you just haven't heard about. There's 100 others. Like, even whenever there's a downturn in the market that affects some tech companies or some companies negatively affects others positively. And there are some companies that aren't affected that much by anything that's happening in the market in general. And so this is a prime example. Kaseya is a prime example of one of those types of companies that's booming right now in the midst of the market. And again, there's plenty of companies that are like this. Definitely, it's definitely rare for companies at Kaseya's level of like tenure and level of quality that are doing such mass hiring. Nevertheless, dope opportunity. So again, just saying how super excited I am about this conversation and y'all being enlightened about all of this. So let's go ahead and get to the next. My bad. Were you done? Kind of breaking all that down.
No, I was done. It was definitely a process. It did take some time. I could have done it a lot sooner, but I was very selective. But I would just say, listen, I mean, leverage all the resources you have. I mean, I would go to networking events. I would apply on LinkedIn. I messaged multiple different recruiters if I failed the test. And now I'm here. So persistence is key, and definitely having a personality can help too as well.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm about to die. One thing that I do want to mention to y'all really quickly is that tomorrow, weekly with Patreon community, we do interview coaching, we review resumes, all of that good stuff. So for those of y'all that are a part of the Patreon community, tomorrow, for those of you that like Jack mentioned earlier, maybe you're not the best at interviewing, or maybe like you're a bit nervous, or you don't understand what it's like interviewing, especially for tech companies. Again, we're going to spend a little bit of time towards the end of this to kind of address like what that looks like with Kaseya. But if you want like some additional interview coaching, if you want someone to look over your LinkedIn, all of that good stuff, I would encourage you to check out the Patreon community. We're going to be streaming tomorrow at 8 p.m. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern time to 9 p.m. Eastern time, just with the private community, answering those questions for them. Anyway, that being said, let's go ahead to the next set of questions. So, all right, let's go to these other ones. All right, and for the pay, and maybe you don't know this, Jack. So you mentioned earlier the salary or the pay for the account executive role, but do you know what it's like? Is it similar for the solutions engineering role?
It's a little bit different. Based off, like I mentioned before, in the last, they offer me something different. When
Yeah,
I talked to the recruiter, I think the variable, and like I said, everything is negotiable based off your experience. But what he was telling me, it started off at 70 and goes 80 plus, just off the base. They're very technical, and then it's also a 50K variable too as well.
yeah.
So you're looking at maybe just compensation without, like, if you're doing the bare minimum, which I wouldn't recommend doing. I mean, the company's growing, probably 130K your first year, if not more. But like I said, there's a lot of people that's doing way more than that because we're selling products and solutions that IT professionals need. And the total contract values are anywhere between, the average deal size is 4,000 to even to 20,000, if not more. So
Eesh.
and the sales cycle is like 2 weeks for the smaller business, and then for enterprise, it can be 3 weeks to a month, but a lot of this happening in like 2 to 3 weeks. So,
The
we're having any,
enterprise is
yes,
happening
yeah.
that fast?
So there's different levels on the enterprise side.
Yeah.
There's key accounts where you're dealing with billion. I mean, I think I was talking to somebody and they have a global, they have key, they have principal account managers. And then even as an account manager, right, this is an amazing opportunity. They'll even give you some opportunities to work on some enterprise accounts. So you get a full book of business. Some of that's going to be small businesses where you're helping them scale their business. And then you may have enterprise accounts where you're targeting the IT department. So when you think about it, that's great skill sets that you can develop on enterprise selling.
Yeah.
And those deals are typically a little bit more because they get budgets from, like, certain budgets and stuff.
That's like super phenomenal. Like y'all, that's super phenomenal, man. I'm honestly learning a few different things. I love how Kaseya is kind of doing things, how they're breaking everything down, even differently between different type of enterprise clients, or enterprise account executives. That's super fire. So I saw a few people asking for the Patreon. I'm I'm same thing. I'm gonna post it in my story after tonight. Someone asked that they thought I took the Patreon down. I never took it down. I just stopped promoting it. But because now when I do the streams on my Patreon and we're helping people when it comes to resumes, interviews, I'm actually bringing on more qualified people. And so I'm paying them for their time. And so we decided it would make sense that we would literally just kind of pay them out through the Patreon community. So that way you all would literally be getting paid so you're signing up to get qualified people and not just myself. Because I'm very qualified. Obviously, I've helped a lot of people in tech. I do a lot of coaching sessions. People book me for one-on-ones all the time. But I want to bring on different people, even like Shanae. She came on before. We're going to bring her on again. She's recruiter cousin who's in the comments. She's a very successful recruiter for the largest tech company in the world right now. And so, anyway, blah 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 blah. We're gonna go ahead and go on to the next set of questions, and then we're gonna get over to talk about the interviewing with Kaseya. All right. All right. So someone asked, I don't know if this is supposed to be, they're trying to throw us off. They're asking, is it Bant?
Is advanced, like, so that's one of the philosophies we use: budget, need, authority. That's kind of like, we follow a process. So if you use that, you have a understanding on what that means. You're going to figure that out on Course Careers. They break it down. So I would say, if you're not too familiar with that, if you're just saying bant, no, look up what that means and know how to apply it. And then when they interview, say, hey, this is what this means. I'm familiar with your philosophy. This is how I can present it to be of value to your company. Don't just go in there and just be like, bant. You're gonna be
Yeah.
like,
That's what I've
okay,
been noticing. People try to throw some of these words or terms out there, and I'm like, why are you're not
nah,
using
nah, yeah, nah. Go do some research on it, man. I'm giving you the tools. I'm not just gonna give you the fish. I'm gonna show you how to go out there and, what I'm saying, be able to
Yeah,
do that. So
that's good. That's super good. All right, good stuff. So now we're gonna go ahead and shift over and just really, bro, just talk about your like the tips and advice you would give when it comes to interviewing with Kaseya.
all right, got it. So for me personally, interviewing is definitely, has been a great skill that I had the opportunity to develop. I would say, like I said, first things first, research the company and understand what their core values are. Have an idea of what they're about. The recruiter is definitely going to reach out and give you a little synopsis. But when you're going to have an opportunity to meet with the VPs and the managers. One of the things, if you're applying for the account manager position, oh, they trying to turn off the lights. Anyway, glad I got light here. One of the things that they're gonna look for is, if you're applying for account manager, is good personality. When I talk to my director and my VP, we go out to lunch. He's like, "Listen, man. I mean, some of these people are really qualified, but their personalities is just." I was falling asleep during the interview. So, yo, look up what they do on their LinkedIn. Be relatable, because that's the whole entire point of the job. Be entertaining, still be professional, but sell your personality, and don't give a sob story on why you need the job and you got whatever. They don't Companies don't care about that. Figure out what you can do and what you can bring to the table that's going to improve their bottom line. And once you figure that out and go in there with confidence. Once you do that, then most likely they're going to give you a call back. So that's for the account. I would say the account management side. If you're going for that role, for the solution specialist side, what they're looking for is for people who also have sales experience, more technical experience, and can carry out a full sales cycle. So if you say, "Hey, listen, I did this apprenticeship. I'm really interested in this product. I'm very familiar with Kasei University, which Kasei University actually has a university where IT professionals can go learn the solutions and get certified to be able to sell to their clients." That's another thing that they're bringing. So now, yeah, they have a so the cool thing too, one of the perks about this job is not only do they have access to Kasei University, where you can actually learn IT and how MSP starts, they give you access to LinkedIn Learning. So when we have downtime, leverage LinkedIn Learning, or even if you don't have the opportunity, figure out what things you can learn on LinkedIn Learning, from leadership skills, negotiation skills. Bring that to the interview and figure out how you can apply it to be a value to the team. Be a team player, be an asset, and let them know that you're hungry and you're willing to work.
Yeah, for a LinkedIn user, I don't know your name, and y'all, we are now we're gonna be hopping between him giving advice and stuff when it comes to the interview process, the hiring process, just everything with Kaseya. But also, we're gonna be trying to look at some of the questions that are here in the comment section. I see somebody where you don't have a name; it says LinkedIn user. It says, "What if you don't have experience in sales?" I'll give like a little answer, but then I'll let him double down on this further. He kind of touched on this earlier. So first off, this is SaaS. This is software sales. So the difference with software sales from normal sales, for most industries at least, is that this is B2B sales. So you're dealing with business owners. Also, most of these people are already qualified. So they're coming to you, whether they're qualified from the SDR, BDR team, or they're qualified through some other means that they're already interested. Their company is in the need for this product. They're either going to get it from Kaseya or they're going to get it from one of their competitors usually. So really, the account executive just builds that relationship to say, "Hey, look, man, you should get it from us because of X, Y, and Z. It's a better product specifically for your company, and this is why, blah, blah, blah." Not going to go too deep in the weeds with that. But if you don't have experience with sales, what is strongly recommended, he mentioned this earlier, I mentioned this earlier as well, is doing a tech sales boot camp. He did a tech sales boot camp, and he already has all the confidence in the world. He has an extensive, amazing background. But of course, the tech sales bootcamp gives you an understanding of what SaaS sales looks like, or sales in the tech industry, what that looks like. What would you add to that, Jack?
All right. So what I would suggest, start off with the course careers, get an understanding with that. That's a good thing. And then once you do that, go on the Kaseya website and go down to associate account manager, because they do college programs where they're going after college. That's going to be the entry level. Like, if you don't have no sales experience, but as long as you got grit, you're hungry, and you want to break into IT, you want to make this into a career, and you can show that, hey, I'm making the steps, I'm willing to learn, I'm hungry. I would say start there, and then they're going to give you an opportunity to prove yourself. With the accounts that you'll get through that, you should be able to get a promotion to where you can move up to account manager, and then you get to work and fill out the role and stuff. So I would say start off doing maybe the boot camp, so you get a better foundation, so that can give you the confidence to speak in the interview. Then go ahead and apply for the associate account manager, and then use me as a reference. So recruiter, we actually have an app, so I can actually see and track the process on everybody. It's called We use a Greenhouse. So everybody that actually went on and applied for the role and put me as a reference, I can actually see where they are in the interview process. Like, hey, how many interviews they got, where they are in the process. So it gives me an update on what's going on, and I could coordinate with the recruiter, or even tell them, hey, listen, I see that, congratulations, you made it pass. So we can actually keep track of everything.
All right, good stuff. Someone asked, "What is the work-life balance like?" And they said, "Is it basically between 9 to 5?"
Yeah. So I get in. Well, you want to be in the job starts from 8:30 to 5:30, right? So, and yeah, I would say it's very work-life balance. Me personally, I don't believe in that because I'm a workaholic. However, though, if we do get a lot of downtime. Sometimes it's slow season. I would say also stay productive too. It's a very cool culture as long as I mean, we're in sales. So one thing about Casera that I love is there's no like micromanaging. Everybody understands you're going to have really good days and there's going to be days where you're just building relationships. So a lot of times, people are in the office, we're walking around, we're playing music, we're having a good time, we're socializing, but we're still getting the job done. You ain't got nobody over your back. Me personally though, I'm taking advantage of these certification programs because I just love learning. So work-life balance, they definitely have that. And if you need to take time off, you're sick, they're not going to trip. Just make sure when you come here, you put in a good day's worth of work.
Yeah, I don't work at the company, but again, just being somebody that's been in pre-sales and tech for a couple of years now for a few different companies, I can tell you it's really based on how much money you want to make. So you
100%.
can be and there's no shame in anything. You can be a bench warmer where you're just doing the bare minimum of what it takes to put the points on the board or do your job, show up to practice to where you're doing enough that the company appreciates your contribution, but you're not going to be making the big bucks, not going to be getting promoted as quickly, not going to be VP, not have all the other opportunities. Or you could be Kobe. As y'all can see, like Jack is Kobe right now. Like he is literally in the office, and he's not in the office because this live started like around the time like he was done working. He just stayed in the office more than likely because he was like putting some extra work in or some extra reps in. Same thing like I mentioned with Kayla, where she's on track to do a little over $300,000 a year, who also is in tech sales, many other people. So if you want to be somebody to where you're making over $500,000 in a few years in tech sales, or maybe even $1 million, especially if we're including equity in those other pieces, then you have to think, okay, do I want to be Kobe, or do I want to be a basketball player that, yeah, they got a ring too, or they were part of a team, but nobody knows them and they're not a Kobe or a Jordan or a LeBron or a Dwayne Wade, just to kind of use that as an example, or a Selena, I can't even think of that, Selena
Williams.
Williams,
Yeah.
like, so think of it that way. So instead of thinking, oh, is it just 9 to 5? Yeah, it is. It's 8:30 to 5:30 if that's what you want it to be. But that also depends on how much money you're trying to make. Um, and again, no judgment at all. Some people, y'all have families, you got a lot of stuff going on, you know, and some people have families, but that's your excuse to go harder. So it really depends on who you are, what your goals are.
I wanted to add something to that real quick, if it's cool. All right, so I understand everybody's trying to get a remote job, and like I mentioned before, if you got kids, family, hybrid, things like that may work. But if you don't have no kids, these are some like little tips and tricks you can leverage to really stand out in a remote position. One of the perks of working remotely is, I mean, not remote, in the office, is fast promotions. You get to see who the CEOs are. You get to, everybody takes a lunch. So what I like to do personally is I like to build good relationships, not only with my clients but also in the office. Like if you were to get this job, right, what I would suggest is identify who are the top producers, see how they move, get around them, build some relationship with them, go out there to them with lunch, get around your CEOs. We have an open door policy, so they love that. And if you're showing up and you're saying, hey, listen, can I go out to lunch with you guys? And you just building that relationship, man. And one thing we do, we have here, we have a lot of fun, man. So that's another thing. But identify that, like build relationships with the right people, go out to lunch with them, pick their brain, let them know what your career goals are, how you can be an asset. And over time, when things come up and opportunities show, they're going to think of you if you're looking to grow fast.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit different remotely. You might get a high paycheck, a little bit more work-life balance, but you're not going to see everybody because everybody's working, all different places. Me and my team, we go out to Brickell, we go out to, we walk the strip, like we go out to different restaurants. Sometimes our manager buys food for all of us if we, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's a cool vibe,
And
and then,
Brickell is
yeah,
popping, y'all.
heck yeah, man. I love it.
Brickell is popping.
Man, we go to some of these bars over here, and it's such a cool vibe, man. It's a great energy. It's a fun environment. That's the best way to describe Kaseya. You can make a lot
Man,
of money, but you also gotta have fun doing it.
I love you mentioning that because a lot of people don't know that. What he mentioned is correct. That when you're in office, when you're, I mean, you all know when you're actually around people that you work with, especially like leadership, executives, that helps you get promoted significantly faster. And that's why even though he's in office with many of his other colleagues, he's still going above and beyond to make sure that leadership sees his face even more. Even him doing this right here, like him coming on the live, understand this is a really good look for him with his company, to where they're going to be like, man, you're helping our company get staff. You're connected, our company with this community of people that have done a tech boot camp, or they have some extensive high level transferable skills. You prep them to know how to interview, all of these different things, so that way we're able to truly gain and understand who they are during these interviews. This is something phenomenal that his company will deeply appreciate. So again, y'all know I'm always talking about remote roles. I'm always making a lot of satire content online. Yeah, working remote is dope, but again, like the opportunity, like what he said, is here with Kaseya at their different U.S. locations.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. So Jack, bro, what else do you have for the people? Probably hang out for another like 10 minutes.
Yeah, man. I got the time. So
All right, so
yeah,
someone asked, what were your biggest obstacles when starting out in your current role, and how did you overcome them?
I'll tell you exactly. I live the farthest away, but I make sure I got here early. That was one of the things when my manager asked me, he's like, "Dang, man, you live like all the way in what is it, Deerfield? That's about like an hour and a half drive. Well, not hour and a half. It's about, with traffic, I would say 58 minutes. No, without traffic, 58 minutes. With traffic, about an hour and 15. So sometimes I'll just sit here. So I said, listen, you ain't got to worry about, me being late, right? So what I did, I know I'm an extremist. I know I live far as crap, but this is what happened, right? I wake up at 3. It's weird. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning every morning. I've been doing that, and I take the train. It's living in Atlanta. The transportation sucks. So being here, I'm very fortunate to be by the Tri-Rail, free parking. I set my
Oh,
alarm
so
clock.
y'all are you're, because I can see the tri-rail from here.
Yeah, so what
Oh
I
yeah,
can tell
okay,
you
cool.
exactly what I do. I take the train all the way from Deerfield. The train comes at 4:40 in the morning. So I wake up at 3:30, get myself together. I plan my day in advance. I meal prep on Sunday so that way I don't even have to come home and cook. So I have my whole entire meals laid up for the whole entire week. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. I get ready to get on the train by 4:40. I take it all the way to Miami. By the time I get to Miami, I take the train to Government, the Miami train to Government, and I take the Omni Loop to Brickell, and I get here at 6:30 every single time. My job, everybody gets here around like 8, maybe a little bit earlier than that. So that's when I'm able to see the main decision makers, the people walk in early, and that's why I got the reputation. Plus, they got a really nice gym here, so they got showers. I mean, our office is in the I think the W Hotel too. So it's
Oh,
just like,
y'all are right there. I can see your office
yeah,
from
right
here.
across the
That's
street from the Whole
crazy.
Foods. So I'm in the gym. I'm setting up my day, and I get a good workout. I do go to bed as soon as I get home around like 8, about 8-ish. So I'm gonna have to drive to work tomorrow. But yeah, every other week I'll take my car because traffic's no joke. But I'm taking the train, and I've been doing that consistently since I started, and that's the reputation I developed. Jack is always here early. Well, it's
You
not
know,
easy,
since
huh?
I'm so close, I want to try to set up something with you and your AVP,
You know
or
what's
your
funny?
to
He
see.
talked to me today. I could set that. That's what I was saying. Like when you get back in town, like we got 4 offices. I know a spot that we can do it. I'll talk to him
Well, no,
about
I'm
it.
here now. So
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna see him tomorrow because he was like he told me, yo, I saw you on the live, man. Like next time you going on the boat, let me know. I'm like, I got you. So
yeah.
yeah, he could
So
talk. Yeah,
yeah, let's talk offline. But one of the things I'm
yeah,
thinking of, and I know obviously there has to be a way that this can happen, so where I'm not showing anything that's like proprietary
yeah.
to the company. But I would love to like maybe do like a tour or something of the company in office and stuff. I think that'd be like pretty dope to do something like that.
We do that with the clients, so I'm sure I can definitely put that together because, like I said, we have clients come. We probably put your face on the what the screens because that's what we do with our clients. We put them on the screen. We do a whole entire experience. So I
Yeah,
think I could definitely set that up.
that's fire. Fire. Love it. Love it. All right, cool. Let's get back to some of these questions. Somebody said the masculine energy on here is everything. Hey, you know what it is. I appreciate the love. And thank you, Prescott Lauren, for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate that. Yeah, y'all. I don't ever ask for super chats, but I mean, look, if you feeling the love and you wanna tip or show some love, definitely do that, and it's definitely appreciated. It's not necessary, but it's always deeply appreciated. I always want to say that. So somebody said it's giving Millionaire Jack. Oh, I like that, Millionaire Jack. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Do you know? This is a great question. Do you know if there are relocation packages for people that get hired on or that they're interviewing, they're willing to move?
Yes. So today we were going over some stats and they did do some relocation. I would say apply for a position. They're really trying to get people to move to Miami. So originally, like I told you my story, the relocation package is up to $4,000. I don't know if it's changed, but I would say if you're looking to relocate and you need that assistance, ask about relocation assistance, and also make sure one of the things I also realized here too is roommating is definitely a thing. I wasn't really used to that in Atlanta. Atlanta, you can have your own one place bedroom, but it is pricey. So check out Roomster. Make sure if you are going to roommate, you could definitely save a lot of money and leave a little bit closer. But make sure if you are going to go that route, just deal with somebody that's very professional, got a busy life, so that way you ain't having no issues, and plan ahead to make that decision. I would say also if you could get with a realtor, I have a few people that connected me with them. If you're renting out a condo, it's easier to negotiate maybe than going at an apartment. So hey,
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta make that sacrifice. If you ain't got no kids, you're young, you're single, but you're hungry for opportunity, you want to get some equity and you want to take advantage of this, go for it, man. Like set up some plan, move to a big city, get a roommate or two, or put yourself in a position because when you're in an environment like Brickell, you're gonna see so much money, so much opportunities. You're gonna adapt to the culture, and it's just gonna
Yes.
challenge you to be like, damn, like, yo, all these people out here getting this, let me get some too.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely if you can do it, make it happen.
Y'all, this is one of the reasons I moved out here. The main reason I moved out here was for the networking and is because there's so much young success out here. Significantly more young success that's even in Atlanta. Like everyone looks at Atlanta as a place where there's a lot of young success. Out here, there's significantly more.
Different.
And there's more diversity of culture, which automatically means diversity of industries, which means diversity of like just the way that you're going to be able to grow and think bigger and increase your work ethic. So yeah, this is definitely a phenomenal area. Thanks for sharing that tip, Jack. So that was a great question. Relocation packages. Okay, good stuff. So again, y'all, you gotta check with the company. But he mentioned that it's when he had last checked, it was about $4,000. Okay, getting a lot of love, but I'm trying to. Okay, what's the DEI rep at the company or diversity, equity, and inclusion at the company? Um, I'll surface level answer this. We're in Miami, Brickell, Miami.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is one of the most diverse places
yeah,
in the United States. Like I promise you could I
yeah.
haven't looked this up, but I would strongly argue that Miami alone is at least top 5 most diverse places in like you don't even know what someone is by looking at them. You will look at someone and think they're black, but they're Latino. You'll look at someone and think they're Jamaican or black and come to find out they're Haitian. You look at
Yeah, I'm
someone and think
Jamaican.
they're white and they're Eastern European or they're Romanian,
Yeah.
or they're Ukrainian. You know,
I w- I would say I don't I would say definitely what you want to do is have an open mind because in my office I would say yeah there are some black people here too as well. Of course it's a different culture. Everybody's from everybody. So when we all hang out, it reminds me of like Manhattan but at the beach, right? We got a guy that's Russian, we got a guy that's German, we got a guy that's Jewish. We got a guy that's one guy came from Canada, other guy came from London. And I would say be open minded because you never know where these connections and opportunities can lead you. You know, everybody has a different background, and as long as you know how to conduct yourself, you know how to have a conversation, and you don't take things too political, whatever. Just be open minded. I would even say when you come down here, this is what I'm working on, because like living in Atlanta is a little bit different, but I'm in a new territory, right? So adapt to the culture. I'm learning Spanish. I would say consider learning Spanish. Especially if you're going to be in Miami. You can go on Udemy, take a little course. I think they have a couple on LinkedIn, but you know, learn some Spanish. Go to some events out here where you can learn how to dance and just immerse yourself in the culture, so that way
Yeah.
you have something to talk about and relate to. It's going to help you in your interviews too, because most of the people here uh, are a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of different stuff. So you want to be able to be relatable.
Yeah, I'll be real. I'm very pro black, and again, I'm speaking for myself, not for
Yeah.
Kaseya, not for Jack. I'm very pro black. I love being black. Nevertheless, out here in Miami, I try to avoid black things because I'm like I've been doing black things all my life. I wanna submerge myself in other cultures so I can learn. Again, we're talking networking. The whole
Yeah.
value of networking is not being with people where we're exactly alike, but being with people that are doing other things, that are different, doing things differently, that are thinking differently. And one of the ways to do that is to network and to commune and break bread with people that are other cultures, other views, other backgrounds. That's how you grow and become a more well-rounded person. So just essentially, I know the core of the question is really, are they cool with hiring black people? His company would not be like excited about him. They understand that most of us, usually the audience that we're talking to are people that look like us. And that's for every ethnic group, every gender. Whenever women are usually speaking, they're usually going to gather more of a female audience. When men are speaking, they're usually going to gather more of a male audience. When black people are speaking, usually a black audience, so on and so forth. That being said, they're definitely open to, not just open to, desiring people of different cultures, different groups. So just to kind of touch on that aspect of it. Let's see what we got with the. All right, y'all. All right, cool. So Kim Ford, I'm pretty sure the answer is no. Kim Ford asked if there have been any talks about sales engineering roles in the Atlanta office that you know.
Not that I know of. If you go on the website, there was openings earlier December. I would say check back, but because they have this major contract with the governor of Miami, everything is trying to be hired here. So
Yeah.
as of right now, I don't know of any openings in Atlanta. I don't see any, but most of the positions are here in Orlando.
Yeah. I will say this for everybody that's on here right now. And let's say for whatever reason, everyone has their reasons. For whatever reason, you're like, man, I can't move. And the state of the city that I'm in, Kaseya does not have an office here, especially, of course, if it's not Miami. If that's you, then I would encourage you, like, don't look at this as like your only opportunity to break into tech.
Yeah.
This is a phenomenal, one of the best opportunities I've ever seen, if not the best I've seen. But again, there are other companies hiring, other things going on. Maybe I can do a better job of, because I've never dipped my feet deeply into seeing what companies are doing mass hirings. So I'll try to do a better job at this. Nevertheless, I want to say, like, one, if you can't move to Miami, hey, okay, that doesn't mean you're not going to be able to get into tech. Just, of course, obviously apply, interview with other companies that you find interesting. Aside from that, I also will say that for everyone who's interested in Kaseya, and I'll say this because Jack shouldn't be saying this, but I'll say this, is that those of you that are interested in Kaseya and this wonderful opportunity, I still would say don't stop applying at other companies that you're interested in. Like, obviously put a lot of energy and focus into Kaseya because of this amazing opportunity that's here, but don't lock everything else down and just be like, okay, I'm only going to focus on Kaseya, because again, there's mass hiring that's happening. If you interview well, if you have like good background, good qualifications, and again, we've already rehashed what all of that stuff is. If that's you, then I personally wouldn't see why you wouldn't be one of the top candidates to get hired. Nevertheless, still, like, be open to something else God might have for you. So this is a dope opportunity for a lot of people, but this isn't for everybody. So still keep that in mind. I want to make sure that everybody's very careful kind of how you're moving with that. And that's
I
not to
want to,
discourage
yeah.
anybody, but that's just to like, again, it won't hurt you at all to still be open for other good opportunities that are out there.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that. Yeah, change your focus into just focusing on breaking into tech because yes, Kaseya is a great company. But even when I was applying, I mean, I kind of looked at it as a business too. You know, you want to have different opportunities going for you, and what that's going to also do is give you a little bit more at ease, so you don't come off desperate during the interviews, like, oh, I need this and blah blah blah, and you don't take it as devastating because, like I mentioned before, I mean, I was applying for Kaseya since December of last year. And I, got in, I would say about 4 5 months ago ish, but I still had my other opportunities. I still had another plan. I still had access to other industries. And the funny thing is I was also interviewing, and some of the opportunities that I got, some of them were even, paying even more, but they just, wasn't what I wanted to do at the time. But because I also had a job too as well, it was easier for me to make that decision. And I didn't even think I was going to pass the test because I took the cognitive test, at least 5 to 10 times, right? So I had another offer that I said, okay, remote aviation gov tech is a good spot. But then again, I got the email saying, hey, listen, you passed the test. Let's do it. Let's do an interview. And Kaseya offered me a offer, allow me to start sooner than the other opportunity. I said, well, listen, I've been trying to get with this job for so long. Even though this one is right here and it's remote and I can go anywhere and do it, and it's still around the same OTE. But at the same time, I wanted to sell cybersecurity because I knew that, God forbid, if I got my foot in the door and I build a great reputation, and even let's just say that down the line, I want to go somewhere. I'm not saying whatever. It still looks really good on your resume. Like the first month when I got the job with Kaseya, like literally the first week, I had a whole bunch of recruiters that were Kaseya competitors saying, "Hey, listen, we're willing to pay you 100,000 base. What is it? That was what they were reaching out. Hey, we're hiring for this company. The base is 100,000. We're a competitor of Kaseya, but we're specifically looking for people who work for these companies." I said, no, I'm not doing that. I just got in with Kaseya. It's almost like the same thing that when Salesforce was laying off a lot of people, they had smaller companies that were targeting their employees saying, hey, listen, if you had Salesforce, if you're selling Salesforce Cloud, we're going to give you this amount of money to hire you. So that's kind of what happened with me. But I was like, nah, I just got my foot in the door. I've been working so hard to get here. I don't even want to go. And then once I understood the value of what Kaseya brings and that we're the top dog, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. I mean, we got our name on the Miami Center, so it's like, so even with that, every time you see a commercial or when you go to the Miami Center or the Kaseya Center, their name is behind everybody's seat. So next time you go there, look, you're gonna see Kaseya.
Love it. I love it. Love it. I love it. Are y'all asking what are those companies? Go to LinkedIn.
I don't.
Go
Yeah,
to the
I
job
don't
tab.
even know.
What were you saying?
Oh no, I don't even know because I actually had recruiters reaching out to me. I was like I didn't. I had recruiters that just reached out to me, but I was like, nah, I'm not interested. I'm pretty satisfied with what I'm doing. I like where I'm at right now. I want to really get some deals on my belt. And also, I would say that too. When you do get with a company, give it some time. Don't just jump on the next opportunity unless it's like, I don't know. I would just say like, give it some time, get some deals on your belt, get some credibility, learn the roles, and really immerse yourself within the culture, and decide if it's a good fit. But I would say just give yourself some time to be able to have success. Things are not going to come overnight.
Yeah, one thing I'll say, and I know JD said he was just joking, it's cool, but even though you're just joking, your question I know is a real question for other people. One thing I do want to share really quickly for everybody is that it's important that you don't create. One of the things that I've noticed is that oftentimes, and mind you, I'm not speaking about Kaseya because this is a huge hiring opportunity. But other times, what I've noticed is that people see that a person got hired at a tech company, and then it's like you just kind of almost shut off every other company. You're like, oh my God, if a Black person got hired at this company, then I feel there's an opportunity for me to get hired there. So I'm going to focus a lot of my emotional energy into that company. And I know it's really hard for many of us that are Black and brown to remove the idea that we need to see a person of color at a company before we apply there or think we could get hired. But I really encourage y'all to remove that, because when you limit yourself to thinking that, okay, I'm only going to apply, I'm going to focus a lot of emotional energy on companies where I see a person of color there, then I know that I'm only going to want to focus on those companies. Don't do that. There are other opportunities there. You can be that representation at another company. Again, not speaking about Kaseya, because again, this is a huge hiring opportunity that I definitely encourage everybody to go after. But don't be so hung up on, because I would notice people want to know what company I worked at so they could apply to my company when I was at Dialpad. And I was like, Dialpad's hiring. They're only hiring like 5 people right now. So I'm not going to like announce online that they're hiring, because 500 of y'all are going to apply and they only have 5 roles that are open. So it's like, just be very, again, look at all the companies that are hiring that you're interested in and apply to those companies. But of course, whenever you see huge opportunities like what Kaseya has right now, where they're doing a huge hiring, solid company, definitely give it a bit more focus than you would give other companies that you're interested in. So people asked about the cognitive test, and we do need to go ahead and start to wrap up. And we can probably do like another version of this maybe in a couple weeks. I know that you're the VP. We were talking about doing something. I might bring him on the podcast.
Yeah.
My videographer is going to be here in Miami in a couple weeks, so we might do something like that. But either way, so last thing, at least last question here that I'm gonna address, and then I'll give you the floor to share anything else that you might want to share, is if you could talk a little bit more about that test or the cognitive test.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, man. That thing was no joke. And I actually did a little, I guess like I don't know. I'm very persistent, and anytime I fail something, it's hard. Once I put my mind to it, it's hard to. Like I said, I took the real estate test. I failed 6 times, passed it on my 7th time. Same thing with the cognitive test. If anything, a lot of people pass it the first time, and what I was told is, listen, really, they're looking for people who are not overthinkers. I tend to overthink, and I like to think. So if you just, one of my strategies is I actually paid $90, because if you go on the cognitive test, it has an opportunity where you could pay for like I guess like a week worth of practice tests, and then I would go on YouTube and I would study. So what I did is I focus on my strengths. I wasn't really good at math because it's timed, and I just did the best I could, right? I focus on matching the shapes. I'm like, yo, what the heck does it got to do with IT, man? What the heck? So I just did the best I could, and every single time I kept failing it. You had to pass at least. You had to get at least as many as you can within the time frame. And what I did is I said, listen, I'm just gonna finish everything. What I did is I guessed on all the math, did the best that I could on the shapes. And the funny, when I actually didn't study, that's when I passed.
Wow.
Well, all this time I've been studying, I've been focusing on it. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna pass. So, I've been paying, I've been practicing. And then when I was like, and because I had that other job offer I was gonna go with, so I was like, the recruiter was like, oh, I sent you the test like 2 weeks ago. You're gonna take it? I'm like, I already got this job. I'm going with GovTech. But you know what? I got the time. I'm sitting at Panera Bread. Let me just do it. That day, the next day, I got the test. I got the message. Oh man, you passed. Congratulations. We want to move you forward. I'm like, what? I was excited. I was like, wait a minute. Whoa. Yeah, like I said, I
Man,
was
that's
trying to get in
lovely,
since
bro.
December of last year, man. December of last year.
Man,
So,
bro, this is only the beginning for you. That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. I love it, bro. I love it, man. Well, all right. One other question. Somebody they mentioned about the test. They said, well, how long is the test?
I think it's like 15 minutes, but they have like 50 questions. So you want to get as many as you can done. I would say just focus on the things that you can. Go on YouTube, look at some samples of cognitive tests, and understand like the shapes, and focus on what you're good at. If you're really good at math and you crunch numbers in, do that. Guess on the shapes and just see what you can do. If not, me, I'm more of a reader. Math takes me, a little bit. I got a calculator, but I can read. I can, understand situations. So I focused on those because it took me quicker to answer those than the math. And I just guessed on the math. And that was my strategy.
Uh, Someone asked, "Hey, what's up?" This is somebody that came to one of our events, and I've seen her a couple times in person. Feel familiar with her now, but she asked if they allow you to take it more than once. My answer would be yes, because he
Yes.
said he failed it a bunch of times. So,
Yeah. So I would say, yeah. So this is the thing, right? And this is why I was kind of doing a little bit of finessing. The first time when I applied for the solution specialist role, he allowed me to take it once. And then he said I had to wait like 3 months or something like that. every recruiter said something a little bit different. So once I started hearing that, I just started reaching out to different recruiters and different positions. So once I said, okay, I didn't make it as a solution specialist, let me go in account management. Didn't make it as that, or actually I did the account executive, didn't make it as that, did the account management. The girl that I actually met, she was really good. She was like, hey, listen, let's just try again in 2 weeks, see how it works. Instead of waiting 3 months. And I said, okay, let's do it. And, I was able to get through. So.
Good stuff, man. Bro, I love this so much, man. So look, Jack, bro, I'm super excited, man. Super grateful that you came on here. I mean, twice back to back. This is the first time I've done a live like back to back with someone, just because of the value, again, the opportunity that's here. I'm gonna continue posting about Kaseya. Jack, he gave me a few different links and stuff. So one thing, Jack, bro, if I could just ask you once this live is over, and I mean, really, I could just ask you everything once we hop off the live. But yeah, y'all, all the links and resources that he shared, I'm gonna post them in my story on Instagram. If anyone's interested in my Instagram, it's I'm just Cyrus. You don't have to follow me. I don't care that much if I don't ever encourage people to follow me. If you want to follow me, cool. Obviously, I give a lot of tech advice, what it's like in the industry, salary, things like that. Nevertheless, the main thing that I want to focus on really is y'all just checking out the story afterwards, seeing the links and things that I posted. Again, if you haven't done either a sales engineering bootcamp or a tech sales bootcamp, those are links that I do have in my bio on Instagram as well. For both the account executive, not the account executive, for the tech sales, which I usually would encourage someone to do course careers with my discount code. Again, link in my bio. It's only $449 with careerist for the solutions engineering role. With them, you get a $300 discount off with my link. Specifically, just use the link and you'll get $300 off. Despite whatever sale they have going on, you'll get $300 off on top of the sale. For people that are rewatching this, you'll see, just look at the pinned comment or look at the show notes, and you'll see the boot camps listed there as well, with the discount information. Oh yeah, so someone asked, Cyrus, this is off topic, but does Octoply allow more than one resume at a time? Yeah, for those of y'all that do not know, I am the co-founder of Octoply.ai, which is it's both a staffing and career artificial intelligence assistant, which goes above and beyond to land you interviews within the industry of your liking. So you're able to put in the role that you wanted to apply to. It applies to 10 jobs a day within that role. It actually is able to readjust your keyword section to be accurate to every company you're applying to. So that way you automatically rank higher as a candidate, so that way you can be interviewed. Because what most people don't know is that the reason why most of y'all don't get interviews with companies is not because the company doesn't want to interview you, but it's because their software denies you for an interview. But our software, Octoply, the AI, looks at the keywords in the company and readjusts the keywords on your resume based on your work history and work experience. It doesn't add things that aren't true, but it takes your work history and work experience. It reorganizes the keywords in your resume, so that way you rank higher and land more interviews with the company. It does a lot more than that, but I'm not going to try to get too deep into the weeds. But just to answer the question that the person asked earlier, if Octoply allows more than one resume at a time, it does. So not more than one resume at a time, but it restructures your keyword section of every resume specific to each company that it applies to. But if you're saying does Octoply allow you to apply to different roles at one time, that will be for another tier that we're going to launch pretty soon, but not for the premier tier. Other than that, I'm going to hop off of that. And again, for those that are curious, you don't know about Octoply, definitely check it out. It's octoply.ai. That's OCTAPLY.ai, like artificial intelligence. The first 3 days, you get a 3-day free trial where it applies to 10 companies a day for you. And then for everyone who wants to continue to allow Octoply to apply to companies for you, there is an initial setup fee that you manually pay. You're not automatically charged it. You manually pay $600 for the setup fee. Then after that, once a month for the premier tier, is $97 a month. Our goal with Octoply is for people to land jobs within the first couple of months. We can't obviously, depending on how many rounds of interviews it is, it might spill over the first month. But we want to make Octoply so good. We're making it so good that people are landing interviews within that first month. because we believe it's more valuable for people to land jobs, even if they cancel their Octopi membership. But then the word of mouth spreads, so everybody's like, yo, this product landed me a lot of interviews, all of that. We'd rather that than people staying with Octopi for 3, 4, 5 months and not getting a job. So we're constantly updating it every single week. We're actually updating a lot of different tools and tricks and information for the interview process. A lot of cool stuff that I'm going to share on another live. But again, this live is mainly focused on the opportunity that's with Kaseya. Yeah, love y'all. Make sure y'all DM me on Instagram, email me, or DM me on LinkedIn. I usually respond. I always try to respond pretty quickly. So yeah, just message me anywhere. Again, thank you, Jack, so much, bro. And yeah, again, y'all, I'm gonna reshare the links and information that Jack shared. I'm gonna share it on my Instagram. I'm gonna try to make sure I also share it on LinkedIn as well. But I love y'all. Appreciate you so much, Jack. All right, broski. All right, y'all have a good night. Jack, I'm gonna hang tight real quick. I'm gonna end the broadcast, and anything you want to share, give me so I can share it afterwards. All right, see y'all.